Hi, my name is Derek McKay and I'm the greenhouse manager here at Ted Lare Garden Center. Melissa's behind the camera. Say hi.
Hi guys.
We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to go ahead and give a tour of the front of the building. And this was my aunt and uncle's idea, Ruth and Odell Olson of my hometown, Clayton, Wisconsin. They wanted to see it, so I thought we would go ahead and do it and show everybody. We have a lot to see. You can see we have some beautiful gardens. Some yucca blooming in the back by the cactuses. That's pretty cool. A lot of people don't know that flower. It's called yucca.
Very nice.
And we have a little flower here called Coreopsis, threadleaf Coreopsis. It's a nice spreading one that blooms for a good chunk of the early summertime period, June to July. Nice and
It's one of my favorites to add to the garden just because it blooms for so long. I also like kind of this frilly little foliage that you see there too.
Yes,
So,
it really adds a fine texture to the garden.
can we talk about this pot here? Because I have to say it's one of my favorites this year.
It's really turned out really nice. So we have a few different flowers going on in there. We have Calibrachoa here with those little Petunia shaped flowers.
You might just give us just a second since we have an airplane going over. Just admire the beauty.
In the back we have Impatiens, sun patients actually, so they're very tolerant of the sun. You don't have to worry about them burning in the sun. And in the back is a cool plant. That one is called annual milkweed, which is one that you can actually plant for monarch caterpillar babies. They will actually feed on that, and it's a good annual to have in your pot. So if you want to help the monarchs out and have some beautiful flowers, that's the way to do it. Agreed.
I love this pot.
It is very nice, for sure. We have more pots up there. Another yucca flowering.
This is a cool new piece of garden art that we just got in from artist at hand, makes these and then paints them too. So I'm not sure, this might have to come home with me.
Well, you might have to take that home.
Ooh, Derek, do you want to talk about our hanging baskets? We always get a lot of questions about how we keep our hanging baskets looking so good and pretty. Can you kind of tell us how you do that?
Sure, that is a really good question. So if you want to have the baskets looking nice throughout the summer, one is this time of the year when the roots really fill the pot, you really want to water it twice a day. So we'll water it in the morning and then I'll water it again in the evening or kind of mid-afternoon time frame, but if you do it in the evening, that's okay too. That's one of the keys, but the other key is you really have to fertilize it once every other week at least with just a water-soluble fertilizer. And we also do a 1 to 2 time fertilizer with a slow release called Osmocote. We have both the products here. One we use is Miracle-Gro and the other we use is Osmocote. We have both those here. If you're ever wondering, just come on in and ask us and we'll tell you. But if you do that, you'll have, our hanging baskets last way into September. So if you do that, they'll last all the way into September like that with that beautiful color.
Do you ever have to give them a trim or prune them back or do anything like that?
At home, I will trim a little bit, so they will get kind of leggy and long. So if you trim it, it does actually rejuvenate them and actually encourages them to bloom even more. So yes, trimming.
So if you see your petunias getting kind of leggy, like late July or early August, that pruning is what you want to do to kind of make them look better.
Yes, like you can see these branches. I mean, they're not quite ready for the pruning, but you can see that they're hanging pretty low. You can just go in there and prune about 1/4, maybe up to half, and they'll just continue to grow down and flower more. There'll be a temporary period of growth where there isn't much flowers, but then the flowers will come and they'll look just like they were freshly planted within about 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay. Thanks for those tips.
You're welcome. It's a good question. It is daylily season, and we have a lot of beautiful daylilies out here.
Oh, yes.
So I was going to ask, Melissa, which daylily is your favorite one?
That orange one that I'm picturing there is one called Bright Sunset, and I love that one. It's one of my absolute favorites. I'm just a sucker for anything orange in the garden.
It's pretty nice.
What about you, Derek? Do you have a favorite?
I'll show you when we come up to it.
Okay. It's also coneflowers starting to become coneflower season. You can see a few of those starting to bloom in the gardens too. I'm showing those right now.
We have our nice little creek too. It's been here for a while.
Oh, and we have our resident, oh, we can't see his face yet, but our resident sea monster.
Oh, here's that one you said you like. You can show closer if you want.
Yeah, show it closer up.
This is the Bright Sunset Daylily.
So I'm just, look at that beautiful orange color. I love it. This is the one thing that Ted will not sell on the property. This guy came from our old location, and he has to stay in our garden beds.
Oh, I didn't even know that came from our old location.
Yes, it sure did. So
even I'm learning stuff on this tour. have more beautiful pots to show.
This is, remind me the name of this sweet potato again. It is one that does not get as long.
Yeah, it's kind of an upright sweet potato vine. I can't remember. I'll be honest, I can't remember the variety.
I think it's bewitched.
I was gonna say I
Yep.
wanted to say it's bewitched.
Yeah.
So this one doesn't vine out like the other ones do. This one just naturally stays a little taller and doesn't really
More
go too
bushy.
case.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty nice one.
What's that big plant in this pot over here? Can you
Oh.
tell me about that?
Sure, that one's called elephant ear. To be honest, I can't remember the variety, but it's one that gets super large leaves, and as leaves come out, you can see this one's bigger than my hand.
Very big.
As the leaves come out, each leaf will be bigger and bigger, and by the end of the season, they'll be just gigantic. It will be
Okay.
very impressive in September.
Okay.
I thought it
Cool.
would be kind of cool to see that out here.
Yeah, for sure.
Behind there's some tall shrubs. They're
Yes.
not blooming yet, but a lot of people ask and they wonder about what variety that is. And that one is the limelight hydrangea. There was a few blooming under there, which is actually Annabelle that got mixed in. So that's why there's some of it blooming and some of it not. But for the most part, that's the limelight hydrangea. The standard, it's not the dwarf one, right? That's just the standard limelight we have back here.
Yes. This resident Annabelle somehow got planted when we first planted here, and we have tried to dig it out to get rid of it so that we just have one nice cohesive bunch of hydrangeas, but it keeps coming back. So
Yes, it does.
nice hardy plant.
It does. And you can see it's actually tolerating the sun okay, and those are known for being a shade.
Yeah.
Shade shrubs.
Yes.
I did want to stop and show these petunias that are in the ground here. Those are bubblegum, which is actually my favorite petunia. I really like it. They do well in containers, and they really do well on the ground. They're just known for being very vigorous, and they bloom profusely without hardly any work all the way through the summer.
Perfect. Can you tell me a little bit about this tree that you're standing next to right here?
I was glad you asked that because I really should talk about this. This is a Sargentina crabapple, and it's pruned to look like this circle. So if you just have it in the ground, it'll have more irregular edges. But that's what this one is, a Sargentina crab, which doesn't get very big. It averages a height of about 15 feet, and then it maxes out about there. White flowers in the spring.
Okay.
Little tiny berries, you can see them inside. But they don't really fall to the ground. They just kind of stay on the tree, so you don't have to worry about the mess that some crab apples can make.
They almost look like little red cherries, I think, in the wintertime, and can look kind of pretty if they get some ice or snow on them, too, in the winter.
They do. There's some more daylilies. Oh, here's some geraniums and petunias mixed together. So that's perennial cranesbill or geranium.
I always like the little flowers on these, and these come in, the perennial geraniums come in a lot of different colors, too, right?
Yes, they do. Blue and pink. And they will flower. They flower for a long time. They start in, I want to say, early June. Then in July, they look a little tired, but if you give them a trim back, they'll flower and look really nice again by the end of the month.
Perfect.
So this year's cooler weather has actually allowed them to stay more beautiful for longer because it hasn't been so hot like it normally is.
Very nice.
Okay, my favorite daylily is that red one back there.
See if I can get zoomed
Red
in.
one back there, which is going to be similar to the Chicago Apache daylily, the red one. I just think they're fantastic.
So pretty.
It is. A little bit of lilies blooming here left.
Oh, very nice.
Those are the fragrant ones. It's like Stargazer Lily. Those ones are semi-double too, which means they have more than one set of petals around the edge.
Can you tell me about some of these upright grasses that we have in the beds? What kind of grasses are these that we're looking at?
Sure. All the upright grasses that you're seeing that we've passed so far are called Carl Forrester grass.
Okay.
Which is it's the earliest blooming grass. Most of the grasses will wait till August or September to start blooming, but these ones start blooming about mid to late June, and they stay very upright. They don't blow over very easy because we did have some higher winds and rain yesterday, but they still look fantastic and they're standing up. Just a very hardy, drought-tolerant grass.
Okay, perfect.
Some little ground cover sedums. That's kind of different. We haven't seen that yet. Those
Yeah.
are little sedums.
Fun to add just a little new pop of color or texture to a garden.
Look at those daylilies. Those two-tone daylilies. I know we have a few out there for sale, but I can't remember the varieties. But they just look fantastic. Weeping redbud tree right there.
Yeah.
I really like that. It's really growing on me. I actually bought one for my own yard. It has the traditional blooms of a redbud tree that you would have in the spring, but this tree only gets about, well, actually the height you see is the height you get. So that one looks like it's about 12 feet and they grow down, but you can get them smaller too. The one I have is about maybe 4 feet, and it won't really ever get any taller than that. It'll just grow down and then it will reach the ground and get a bit wider. But
Very cool.
I really like that. It just looks fantastic.
It looks really pretty. We also have, you can kind of see these are some black eyes that are not blooming yet, but will be soon. So those will be a nice bright pop of yellow color here pretty soon.
I was gonna go in here and show the Stachys Lambs Ear plant.
Yeah.
It's really nice purple flowers. Those have been blooming for a long time too.
Mm-hmm.
So those look great.
Do pollinators like this plant, or?
Yes, they do. More bees than anything, but
Okay.
there will be pollinators that use it.
Okay.
More beautiful pots behind us. This one, well, I'm gonna say it's one of our favorite petunias that we use here at
Yes.
the garden center because we use it every year.
Yes.
It's called Purple Wave Petunia, and it performs very similarly to the bubblegum I talked about a little while ago. It blooms all summer long, and it's called Purple Wave, but the color is more of a fuchsia color. Next to that, there's some more lantana. Can't remember the variety, but they have so many now. It might be cherry sunrise. Do you think that's right, Melissa?
I actually think that one might just be one called hot pink,
Okay.
but there's a lot of different
There
varieties that
is.
look similar to that. This is a kiwi cordyline in the back of the pot, and a lemon cypress tree. So something a little different you might not see in pots sometimes.
And they call that lemon cypress because if you kind of bunch it like that and then smell, it actually smells like lemons.
Yeah.
Which is why they call it lemon cypress.
Very cool.
There are more to see around the corner.
Okay.
More daylilies blooming. We just like those a lot here. We have quite a few. That one's pretty nice too, not gonna
I
lie.
haven't seen that one yet, I don't think.
The orange one, the yellow ones, that's
Yeah.
I know we actually have those out there too.
Yeah, we've got most of these varieties that we're showing you for sale in the garden center right now, and they are blooming too, so you can actually get to see what they look like.
The biggest pop of color right here in our annual beds, we have Vinca flower here, which likes it dry and hot. So it was the perfect choice for this little space between the patio here and the sidewalk, because they'll bloom very well and they won't really ever have to be watered. That's why a lot of municipalities and cities like to use them.
Perfect.
And we have asparagus fern here. There's not a lot else in this pot, but sometimes uniformity just looks the best, and I really like that container.
Mm-hmm.
And we have more of that sweet potato vine bewitched, is what we decided it was in
Yep.
the corner. Followed by some impatiens and followed by some coleus in the back. We did a nice striped theme this year.
Very pretty.
And we're gonna go in one more spot, our west gardens. This is actually kind of interesting because this was a piece of lawn when I first started here, but we just converted it. Is it 2 years ago now, I
Yep,
think?
2, I think.
Arborvitae, home strep on the end right here. They look very nice. They don't grow very fast like the emerald greens do, which can grow 6 to 8 inches a year. These ones only grow about maybe 2 to 4, so they're a good choice if you have a place where you don't want something to get too overgrown too quickly.
Do you know how tall these get approximately, or?
They will eventually get about 15 feet, but it's
Okay.
going to take a long time for them to reach that level because again, that much a year, you're not really
not
adding
very
much
much.
growth on there.
Okay.
Very colorful. Some Japanese maple trees. That one looks like bloodgood. Pretty certain if that's what that is. But we also like, isn't that nice color?
Yeah. Beautiful.
We also like water features here. As you can see, we have a beautiful water feature in there. I don't know a lot about how they run, but they sure are pretty. And listen to the sound. It's very calming.
Very nice.
Okay. I'll stop at this last pot and we'll end off here.
Okay.
Again, our purple wave petunias, but we do have a different flower in here. We have our oleander right there, which is it's a tropical, and it blooms all summer, and you can actually find it in southern states like California and Arizona, but they just bloom all summer and the hummingbirds like them. So
Very nice.
that's where we're gonna end our tour. So I hope you enjoyed the tour. Just keep an eye out for our next video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks. Have a great day, guys.